guys, and welcome to my 28th video. Thank you so much for joining me if you are a return subscriber, or hello if you are new. My name is Adrina. I'm an Australian teacher, a Teachers Pay Teachers seller, and a mum. So things definitely get a little bit crazy around here. I'm just gonna quickly say, if you do hear my son in the background, that's because he's in the background, and I have not had the chance today to film without him being in his nap time, so we're filming a video while he's awake. So I will say today's video is going to be a little bit about clip art, and if you are thinking about being a clip artist on Teachers Pay Teachers, I have 10 tips that I sort of wish that I sort of knew when I first started out, and if you are thinking about getting into this space as a clip artist, then these tips might just be valuable to you. So keep on watching and we'll get straight into it. Let's go. Okay, so my very first tip is clip art on TPT is usually presented in the form of PNGs. Yes, you can get different file formats. PNGs are basically the file format that stand for Portable Network Graphic, and they are the images that have like the transparent background, so it's easy to layer with. So if you are thinking about creating clip art, usually it's in the form of PNGs. There is a slight exception when you are doing digital paper. JPEGs usually are the standard for digital paper, only for the fact as they still retain the same quality, but they're just a smaller file size. So if you are wondering how or what exactly is clip art, it's just basically artwork saved as a PNG, and that is basically your clip art. Number 2, cropping your clip art. So no matter what program that you use to display or present your clip art onto Teachers Pay Teachers, I personally use Procreate, but you could use whatever else. If you are in particular using Procreate, just make sure that you crop down your file so then you don't have all of this extra white space around it. I'll show you a little bit of an example right here. So I'll be able to show you here where you can see there's a little bit of some space around it. You don't really want that. You want something that's nice and crisp and to the point of the actual clip art. I made that mistake very early on and I soon learned from it, and I know it can be a little bit of a pain in the bottom when you are using clip art. So just be mindful if you are wanting to be a clip artist that it's always really good to crop your images, just so that you know your user is not going to be layering things and you've got all of this clear space around it. It's just nice and slimline when you do crop it down. Number 3 is create your own terms of use. There are different terms of use for different clip artists, and different clip artists will be okay with certain things that they are happy to do with the artwork that they share, and some other clip artists will not be okay with using their artwork in a particular manner. Of course, with any kind of thing on Teachers Pay Teachers, you don't have to be a clip artist to have your terms of use, but in particular when you are creating your terms of use as a clip artist, you need to be very specific and clear what you do and do not allow. That is also if you are a buyer, be very mindful to read what kind of terms of use that clip artist has, as some clip artists' terms of use are very different. So for example, you might have one clip artist that allows commercial use and all you have to do is credit them. You might have another clip artist that only allows you to use that in commercial use for up to 1,000 products, and then after that you need to buy an extended license. Your terms of use really dictates what you as a person, you as the artist, want to do and what you want to allow with your clip art. For me, I'm not so attached with a lot of my clip art, so my terms of use is very free. Not all Teachers Pay Teachers clip artists will allow that kind of use, and that is okay. They have their rights to be able to say, no, I'm not going to be allowing this to be used in colouring in worksheets or for things that are primarily picture or image driven. In some terms of use, you have to really make sure that you alter it in a different way, so it's not just images for the main product if you are using a clip artist's work. So just be mindful, your terms of use need to be very specific to you and what you are and what you aren't okay with. You may want your terms of use to be more stricter than what I allow for my particular products on my store, but you just have to make sure that you're creating terms of use that sit well with you and making sure that the terms of use is very clear, so when someone does purchase it they know exactly what they can and what they can't do with your artwork. And I think I will talk a little bit more about terms of use down the track because I have a little bit more to say about that. Number 4, try your best to be consistent with your branding. As you can probably see with Terrazzo, I know it's very simple, but you can see a cohesive message or cohesive layout through majority of all my products on my Terrazzo Clipart store. I've got like the teal border. Teal is my main color that I present, so when you think of my, well, at least I'm hoping when you think of Terrazzo Clipart, you think of the teal kind of color, and in all of my products you can see a consistency with that. The only reason why I'm suggesting this, why it's good to have a bit of a consistent branding with your clip art, is because regardless of what you decide to create as clip art, people will know over time that that's your clip art. We all know that when you see like something like Whimsy Clips, or you know, Sarah Pecorino, Kate Hadfield, Rainbow Sprinkle Studio, and there's many more fantastic clip artists that I've missed out in that, you know, list, but when you see those people in their brand and you're like, oh, I know who they are. So it's really good because over time, when you have more products on TPT, when you have that consistent branding, you'll be able to be noticed out of the crowd, and someone will be able to identify you over time to know, oh, that's that person's particular branding. If you have your branding and it's all kind of like, it's blue here, it's red here, it's just without the cohesive consistency, it's less memorable. And that's just one thing that I would suggest, that if you are thinking about doing and becoming a clip artist on TPT, that a consistent branding might do a bit of a favor in the long run for building up a brand. Okay, so 5 is do your market research, and this basically applies before you wanted to create something, don't be afraid to just go to the bar in Teachers Pay Teachers and type in that particular clip art that you're wanting to create. See what options are available, see how many searches come up in the search, and see if that's something that you want to target. See if there is a gap in the market for that, and if there is, that's a good chance that you might be able to stand out of the crowd a little bit more. So if you do search for what you're thinking about creating, it's just really good to get an idea of whether there's a lot of products out in there, or if that's maybe more of a unique idea that you'd like to tackle. That is just one little tip as to if you're thinking also, what should I create? Just have a little look and see how many options there are of that particular thing that you're thinking about creating, and see what's out on the market, and then make a decision of what and how if you want to create that moving forward. Number 6. Don't be afraid to be unique. This can be a scary thing, and you know, you may, especially if you're starting out, you may look at other people's work and you might want to be like, oh, I want to create things like that, they're doing really, really well. But it's kind of not the best to think that way, only for the fact that that's their style, so they've already developed a style for them, so people already know them for that style. So it would be in your best interest to create something different to that style that's going to allow you to stand out a little bit more in the sea of the land of TPT. So if you are a clip artist, don't be scared of your unique style of drawing, and don't be ashamed of your style of drawing. Everyone's style of drawing is unique, and like as they say, one man's trash is another one's treasure. You would be surprised at what particular people like. You know, some people don't want just the cutesy look of something. Some people like just completely odd and different things, and that's okay. So basically, don't be afraid to be unique, don't be afraid of your own style, and just be you. Okay, number 7 is, please, if you can, you don't always have to do that. I know on some of my products I don't always offer this, but for the majority, if I can, I will offer both a colored version and a black and white version of your clip art. The reason for this is teachers on Teachers Pay Teachers love the option to be able to use something in color or to use something in black and white if they want to create a resource that's going to save teachers more printing. For some teachers and schools don't allow a lot of color printing, so to have that flexibility to use either a colored piece of clip art or a black and white piece of clip art, it's going to be more appealing or more enticing for someone to be like, oh yes, I'm going to purchase that, it has both options, then I can use that flexibly in whatever I want to create. And yeah, it's just a really good tip to have both a colored and a black and white option if you are wanting to create clip art. Again, if your stuff is only in color, it's not to say that that won't sell, because I have a particular amount of items on my store that are just color, and when we're speaking of obviously digital paper, that's completely different. That is majority in just color. But when you're talking about like in general like illustrations, it's just good to have both the options. Number 8. This one's really important when you are packaging up your clip art pack. Please do not forget to include your logo, obviously your images, and it's really nice sometimes to have them laid out in a nice like named way or a kind of sequence way. I personally like to name them with numbers and a title. You don't have to do that, but it is nice to give them some sort of like clean set out. And also do not forget to put your name in the title of your packaged clip art. The reason for that is because if somebody downloads your work and they have it saved on a hard drive and they've used it once and then they forget about it, and then 2 months down the track they go to use that clip art again, but it says just like arrows without your store name, they might think, oh my goodness, where in the world did I get this clip art set from? And they may forget, and they may be less likely to want to use your work in their stuff because they've forgotten where they got it from. So if you have, you know, your title of your pack, whatever it's called, so it might be arrows dash your name, in my case, Talazzo Clip Art. So when someone downloads that, they know it's from me, they know that that's my store name, and they know that, oh, okay, Talazzo Clip Art, if I've even forgot about, you know, the terms of use, I can just type Talazzo Clip Art into Teachers Pay Teachers and have a look at terms of use. But usually I'll include the terms of use in my package anyway. So yeah, just 3 key things: your logo, your terms of use, packaged nicely in like a nice sequence of a way, and then put your name in that file. Just a good tip. Okay, number 9. This is the one I struggle with the most, but I really am going to promote it because I really believe that this could be something that would be worthwhile saying. When you're creating clip art, try, and this goes for not just clip art, but resource stores in general. When you're creating clip art though, I'm speaking of specifically, try and think of your store as an ecosystem. Think of it as things need to flow within each other, so in order to create bundles which can allow for more value for the customer or the teacher or the user, and also more revenue for you. So think of things that can pair up with each other. You may notice if you do go onto my store that you can see I did a lot of boho things at one point, and I was able to package those things. And also with one of my clip art paper sets, I did like some spotted kind of I did some Dalmatian spotted type of digital papers, and then I didn't just stop at the original style, the black and white original style, but I also went further and I did them in different types of styles, and then I bundled them out all up together, and I've been quite pleasantly surprised that some of those bundles have sold. So I'm really happy about that, and if you can treat it as an ecosystem where you can think that they can interlink with one another and you can bundle them, that's going to serve more value for your buyer, like I said, and then for yourself monetarily down the track as well. Number 10. Now this one is one that like it took me a little while to kind of understand, but create a template to be able to easily whip and zip your things easier. So with this tip, what I mean is I might even show you on the computer how I make a template. So this is important because it saves you a little bit of time. I have been lazy. I do not have flat pack at this point. I probably will get it. I don't know why I'm waiting for it, but flat pack is also something that if you don't know, is something that secures your work, so the clip art stays and it doesn't, you can't extract anything off the pages. I don't have that, so I have to individually screenshot these images to be putting up into my previews and things so no one can take away the clip art. But my tip here is to create basically a template. It's easy to do, and I actually will show you this, but create a template so it's easier for you to chuck things in and out of it, so you're not creating it from scratch every single time. Massive tip. I'm sure it will save you a little bit of time, and that's just something really good to know, as the productivity and how fast you'll be able to release a clip art set will be a lot quicker if you have a bit of a system going and a little bit of a template. So definitely do not dismiss templates. Templates will really help. Now I'm going to give you one last bonus tip, because that was 10, but my bonus tip is just, I guess, believe in yourself. You do not have to be Picasso. So you do not have to be someone that is so technically amazing at drawing, or you know, these skills can be learnt. These skills can come from practice and time and just interest and passion. If you are willing, if you are motivated, if you're interested, you're gonna learn. And to be able to learn something, you know, that's a massive thing. If you're thinking, oh, I'm not really a good drawer, you'd be surprised at, you know, what you think is not good might be someone else's like, oh, I actually find that quite cute or really cool, or I just really like simplistic shapes. I like stick figures. Like, it doesn't have to be so crazy technical skills. And I mean, on the contrast of that, if you are technically skilled, use those skills and be proud of that and believe in yourself, because, you know, there's room for everyone. I'm still growing, I'm still learning, but you know, like, coming from someone that has never earned money online before, creating my second store, and I had a little bit of that self-doubt when I first started Terrazzo Clipart. I wasn't sure if I was even going to sell anything, and I said to myself, if I can make one sale on Teachers Pay Teachers, I'm going to upgrade the premium, because that means one person believes in me. All I needed was that one person to believe in me to be able to keep going. And so I'm that one person that believes in you. So if you can just think of that, if you're worried or if you're like, oh, my work's not good enough, just, you know, you've got nothing to lose. You really don't, unless obviously you don't put the work or effort into it. All I'm trying to say, hey baby. All I'm just trying to say here is believe in yourself, because at one point I was just like, am I even going to make any money from this at all? I don't know if my work's good enough. But now that I've been on here a few months and I've had a few sales through this, even though it's not heaps and heaps of money, it's still money that does help me, and like, everything adds up, like I said, at the end of the day. And I'm just really happy, and I'm really proud of myself for continuing and believing in myself. So I really suggest and promote that when things get tough, when you feel like, oh, you know, no one's bought something, just keep going and keep creating, because the more you can kind of spend time in just building yourself up as a person and your, you know, self-belief in that, then you're gonna find a lot more success. You can't fail if you don't quit. That's what I like to think. So anyways, this is just a little video kind of on the fly, because my little man, he's literally just here right now. I didn't get to film today in his sleep time, so I need a video out, and he's out and about having a little play while I'm filming this video. Do you want to say hi, my darling? Hello! Can you wave? Can you say hello? Can you say thanks? Yeah. Can you say thanks for watching? Can you say car? Can you see the car? Car. Alright. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for watching. Adios.